Christ alive.
We got a picture of you DJing a Mambo. It was a couple of days ago, looking for your fans. You just kiss boys? Is that what you do?
My hand's touching the floor, end of the game.
End of the game. Welcome down to another episode of Ibiza Amigos. My name's Roberto Campoli. That was the clapper hitting the floor. And we are at Rum Runner, which is in San Antonio. A friend of mine, Jody Hall. You might have watched his interview. I don't know if I've edited it yet, but never mind. Anyway, welcome down to Rum Runner. And we've got a really good friend of mine sitting right opposite me from Sunderland. He's made a great name for himself on the island. A lot of people know him as Mambo resident DJ. The Sunset Guru, housewife's favourite, Ryan McDermott.
Thank you for having us again, shall we see ya?
Yeah, sorry about
Let's
that
just
last
make
one.
a note of that. It's fine though, man. But what a place, eh? A different one than last time.
We did have Ryan on the first show that we ever did, which was earlier on this summer, and we had a lot of problems with that one. With the videos, with the cameras, so
but it's fine. You're smashing it now, man, so that's a good thing to see.
Well, thanks very much for coming down once again. And what have you been up to today?
Well, this morning, last night was Savannah, where I'm a resident at, closing party. So, and it was also being Mint Lounge closing party, so I just had a few drinks last night. So this morning was a bit of a chill out. Right. And I went for a walk actually up to a place called Hostel Latour, just right round San Ann, just kind of chilled out morning, chilled out walk, and then got ready to come here, and here we are.
Here we are.
A very chilled morning. You
like getting up in the mornings, don't you? Like a lot of DJs.
Not particularly. I just happen to wake up very early, so I just do something with it instead of lying in bed.
Right. Well, when was the first time that you came to the island? Like, even was on a holiday, or do you come straight to a season? When was it?
I can't remember the exact year. I'd say around maybe 2004, 2005-ish.
Right.
And it was with me mum and my stepdad, her boyfriend at the time, who's now a husband.
Right.
And that was for a holiday for a week, and we stayed in. I think what's probably I don't know what the hotel's called now, but it's in Playa de Embosa, and it was the very last one. It might still be there, like it might be the Palladium now, right. Or around that area, and it was class because I remember I have just this image or memory of walking past Space at maybe like 9 in the morning, and I must have been 11 or 12. Around that age, and you could just hear it going off. And I remember asking Graham, my stepdad, who is the guy who got us into house music, and I was just saying like what's happening there? What's happening over the road there? And he was obviously, I think it probably would have been maybe a Monday morning, so probably Carl Cox still having it off, like 9 in the morning. It was wicked.
Well, it's funny actually because fast forward a few years and I know it's not Space anymore, but you've actually played in there, haven't you?
I've played in what's called High Ibiza now, so it's the same location, kind of change it around a bit, but yeah, I've played in the Wild Corner, which is, if you've not been, it's actually the tallest. It is the tallest, but it isn't. It is like a normal set of toilets there. Yeah. But
it's a cool setup, like. It's
called Wild Corner WC, so it's wicked. Like it's one of me, if not my favourite room to go and dancing or DJing in Ibiza. Amazing.
Well, obviously you DJ on the island and you're resident DJ at Mambo's, so obviously that's why you keep coming back. But what originally sort of kept you coming back to the island before you sort of established yourself as a DJ? What kept you coming back?
Well, to be honest, I come on a lads holiday in 2009, and we kind of missed the usual Zante and what's the other one? There's definitely two places people will go. It was like Ibiza, Zante, or something.
Mallorca or something?
Nah, there was another one.
Croatia or something?
Nah, I can't remember. Anyway, there was definitely like...
Skegness?
That's it. That's the one, yes. Sorry, we've done that one. But no, come for a lads holiday, and I think we're done a week, or 10 days, and then the next time we're done a week. And then it was just... around that time, I was turning 18, 19, and I was starting to get into music a lot more. And like I say, referring back to my stepdad, he got us into, well, it was like dance music by giving us some of his old CDs, and a lot of it was defected CDs to Tiesto CDs, and it was just, so something about it, I was just kind of like going out more. Obviously, I was getting that age where I'd going out and getting on the drink, so I was like, Ibiza was just the place to be. And I think the last time was 2011 or 2010, and then it was 2014, 2016 was the first season I've done.
So that was the first one. Well, you've done a lot since then. Like a lot of people take a good 10 years to sort of establish yourself. I think you established yourself straight away, and you landed the Mambo gig, and rightly so, because you're good at what you do. How did you end up getting that gig?
Well, that gig got gone back to Space again, actually, because my first summer was Space's last summer.
Right,
and I was going to a lot of the Sunday parties, which was the Do Not Sleep parties at the time. They had their last, that was one. And I used to go there every Sunday, and I met a DJ called Dolly, who lives on the island.
We've got some pictures of you with Dolly, actually.
And I remember I can't remember the name of the room. It was either El Salon or this. It was a very small, a smaller room in there, and he was playing there, so you could literally stand. It was very like, what's the word, like not intimate, but like very close. He wasn't above. He was like on ground level where, and what he can and what he was doing then, it was blowing my mind. And I got talking to a woman there who turned out to be his girlfriend. I just became quite close with him. I'm still very, very close with him. And over that summer, I was just like following him to his gigs, Space, and he had Pikes and everything. I got to play with him at Pikes. Saw Pikes for the first time I ever went to Pikes. I was there booked for a gig through him, so that was nuts as well. But
was that 2016 as well?
2016. So and then obviously as the season went on, he had his Dolly and Friends nights at Mambo, and he just said, "Do you want to come down and do like the last half an hour?" So I jumped at the chance, and I think either 3 or 4 times he had his Dolly and Friends nights with people like Griff played. I can't think of anyone else who you might know, but there was Griff, like a couple of workers at the time. He had them like kind of jump on, give them the chance as well to play, and I was just very lucky. Whatever I'd done in them half an hour, 40 minutes, I'd done something that clicked with the owner.
I think he was just sick of you following him. He was like, just give him a gig, mate. Sick of this kid.
Pretty much, but you know what I mean.
But I mean, you've had a passion for Ibiza for a long time, and just having a look at some of your pictures on Facebook and stuff. I mean, you were sporting the Ibiza attire a while ago, weren't you?
Oh my god!
Have you still got that jacket?
I wish I did, you know, because
did you lose a bet that day?
That's why I don't gamble anymore. It felt like I've lost a lot of bets in my day. But if he's what, I'm going to have to tag him in that now. Danny McCarthy's in that picture. That jacket, we were staying in the Berganton Hotel, which is still there, and it must be actually opposite Urban Lounge where there was a little shop. And then and you know what it is, I wish I still had it.
You bought it in Ibiza?
I bought it in Ibiza.
What does it say?
So what am I going to buy, like on my Skegness holiday? I bought it in Ibiza. But it says Ibiza fucking island. I don't know why, I just thought it was cool as hell. Clearly, it wasn't. There was.
I like that's cool, man. I was hoping you were going to wear it today, actually.
Yeah, me too.
So your best gig to date, and not necessarily on the island, just you as a DJ, Ryan McDermott. What is your best gig today? Everyone's got that gig where you go, I'll never forget that. My gig actually isn't in Ibiza, it's in Liverpool. But
well, Christ, there's been a few. There's none that. Well, the first one. Well, there's 2 ones. One for like a moment for me, which was my first sunset session at Mambo, which is a very chill out gig and nothing to do with house music. But that was a very special one for us, which I'll never forget, because Javier, you and like everyone come down, and I just kind of. It was nerve-wracking, but 6-7 years later, I'm still doing it. So hopefully, I'm getting better at it. But that was a moment. And actually, this year I played at I left the island and played at Hardwick Hall near Middlesbrough. Where I have Hardwick Festival, and that gig, that's the one that's sticking out for me right now because it's very recent. Because it was an unbelievable day. And I took over in Legend on the island with DJ Pippi and handed over to Jess Beers, who then handed over to Danny Tenaglia. So that was a bit of a lineup. But that was a great gig as well. But I've had that many. Like if I'd known that question was coming, I probably could have thought of it, because I'll probably. Oh, and also going back to the Wild Corner, actually played all night with Paul Reynolds. You were there as well.
Yeah, that was a wicked night.
And that I was only meant to play. I mean, Paul is, if you know him on the islands, part of Melon Bomb. He's a resident High, resident Ushuaia. He's just smashing us every single time. And me and Mellenbaum played a gig in Mallorca in 2019, and he very kindly invited us to come and play an hour. And that was on, I think, it was Solardo's night at the time. I can't remember what night it was. But I just said to you, I said, I want to get there 12 because I don't want to just turn up and play. So after maybe half an hour, he just says, jump on. And I'd played an hour with him, and then I went to take my USB out, and he just says, what are you doing? So I just said, well, like, it's your gig, and he went, no, stay on. So I ended up playing 6 hours and maybe half an hour, 40 minutes with one half of Solardo.
That was your first time that you were playing in high?
Not the first time in that room being there, but that was the first time.
You were playing,
playing there, which was
well, obviously that must have been, I know that was a wicked night because I was with you. Yeah. But I didn't know the story about you stepped out in the space and everything. So that must have been like a proper moment thinking, like, I'm actually in this area now.
Yeah.
Playing.
Well, referring back to about the Sunset session, the first wasn't at Mambo, it was at Savannah, but the first Sunset gig I did, I played the William Barber Adagio for Strings, which relates back to the first CD. He gave us Tiesto as a dad, so that was like a little call back to that, which I sent him, which was nice.
And obviously, people who are watching this will be some friends from Sunderland as well, from where we're both from.
Well, it will be when I tagged Danny McCarthy in that picture.
And we used to, you used to play in Sunderland as well. So, what was your best gig in Sunderland that you played? Well,
actually, for a while, I only ever played one place from maybe 2011 to 2016 before I come to Ibiza. I was in a bar called Lola's. And I might have played a couple here and there, but I played for a brand called Hayes, which was doing well. But Lola's bar was predominantly, I was kind of, not because of it, I wasn't like stuck to it, but because I was a resident there, I didn't get many chances to play elsewhere because that was me. Which I was never complaining about because that was like, and it still is one of the best places I've ever had. And that being a Lola's though, I started as a residency. I started it because he had a resident in. It's called Andrew Atkinson, and he was all night long. But that was when that's what's kind of that's what's kind of give us the range to play these 8-hour sets because I've just done like 8 hours twice at Mambo this week. And when I've told people like 8 hours, it's not like doing 8 hours of music is not the issue. It's like just the fact it's 8 hours long. Where a lot of people now they're calling like 2 hours an extended set and. To me, I'm like, come on, man. But I kind of, that's what's taught us the knowledge of going from warming a place up, building it up, and then having to like bring it back all the ranges, which I don't think a lot of people, but there will still be people, I don't think a lot of people getting into the scene get that opportunity.
I think you are, I'm going off the conversations that we've had over the last few years since I met you, and I think you are a proper grafter when it comes to DJing because like you say, a lot of people just go and just do their thing and they just think, right, I'm DJing and they'll just have a 2-hour set or whatever, or an 8-hour set or whatever. Whereas when you have them sets, you think about, you're not only reading the crowd, but it's quite funny saying this, but you're reading the sun. Because you're in the DJ booth, we've got some footage, some pictures of you in the DJ booth, when looking out in the sunset. And sometimes I've said to you, like after the set, I was saying like, how was your set tonight? And you'd be like, it was a bit of a weird one because it was a bit cloudy. The sun was coming out and then it wasn't, and it was and you have to sort of gauge that if the sun's sort of coming out and it's looking spectacular, you don't want to be blasting out house. You want to be and you do a lot of remixes. I know you've got remixes of like Oasis tracks. Champagne Supernova's one that you play quite often, and it's like remixes, like edits, like not the original one. And you really think about that. Do you know what I mean? You're not just thinking about I'm just doing my 2-hour set. You've got 2 hours worth of music. But like halfway through your set, you can just change straight away, can't you? Like just something else that depends on the weather.
I've got, but that's the thing at Mambo. 1 million in the sun. I get a lot of people before, like some of the staff will come over and say, "Oh, what we've got tonight?" And I'm like, I don't know because you can go down. Like as an example, last night at Savannah, I was walking down to the strip and the sky was grey, and I thought, all right, there's nothing, and then
all the leaves brown.
And then getting towards the time when the sunset, it kind of just come out the cloud. It come out the cloud and then disappeared again. It was like, so you can never, you've got to kind of just be on the ball. Yeah. So I've got there's 4 decks in Savannah and each I've got 4 USBs in, and every time I'm thinking, right, if it does this, I'll go along that, and you have to change, and do you
think everyone does that? I don't think they do. Like,
you're the residents, of course, yeah. But there's sometimes, as I've learned, because every time I get in that booth and do that sunset, there's something. I shouldn't have. That was maybe a bit too early. I've done that a bit too much. But I've been there, and Jason Bai told us told us a thing which made us laugh at the very beginning, because I was obviously, every time when I became a resident, I was going, even before I became a resident, I was going down and thinking like how, and there is a knack to it when it's a perfect kind of sun, shall we say, when it's setting in the water, no clouds, it's as golden as it comes. Yeah. There is a knack to time in it, which I've got down to a T with a couple of songs.
Was it 3 minutes, 2 seconds or something, was it?
About 3 minutes and 3 seconds. When the ball of the sun, shall we call it, hits the water, you have about 3 minutes before it disappears completely. So if you're playing a 3-minute track, you want to win it, but if you have a track which is 4 minutes, 5 minutes, there's a...
No Pink Floyd.
There is a... Well, or Pink Floyd, but there's a knack to it. But going with that, like a lot of people will come in, like, say, what have you got tonight for the sunset track? And I never know, because I can never know until it happens. But as that story with Jason says, there was an old... well, he's an old guy now called Alfredo, who was a very Balearic legend. Yeah. And I think Jason... I might be saying it wrong, but I think Jason was kind of like in my position, like I was talking to Jason about it. And Jason said, "Oh, how do you know?" Because supposedly the story says that the sky was black, and Alfredo was keeping it chill. And Jason was like, "Well, why?" And then suppose he just turned around and says, "Well, you never know." And then as he said that, looked out, and there's the sun coming out with a black cloud, and it come up, and Jason was like, "Right, well, you just never ever know. You can never tell."
Well, that's a really cool insight, because as I said, a lot of people who are not DJs and they come on here on holiday and they come and see you play and other DJs. And a lot of it looks like it is a lot of fun. Of course, it's a lot of fun. But all of this little insight that you're giving everyone, like no one really knows that sort of side. Do you know what I mean? It's just people just think, just choosing the song, playing. But you're not. You're reading a lot of things, not just the crowd. And down at Mambo's as well, it's quite an iconic place.
Well, that as well, because a lot of people, it's kind of the go-to. It's a thing. It's a tick off list on the thing they want to do Mambo, and a lot of people might only be able to come. I realise how lucky we are to be here all year round, but it might be that's the bucket list thing. I've had people come crying. I've had people we've planned to. A guy's message he wants to propose to his now hopefully wife.
After that set.
So there's moments that I've been part of people's holidays and life to a very small degree, which I'm really proud, makes us proud. But when you're there, you're like it's not about it. There's nothing to do with me that I am just trying to give everybody, because I forget that I'm also playing for the people sitting in Mint Lounge, and then when you see the videos, the people on the rocks, there's however many hundreds, thousands of people kicking about. And only this year, I've had a lot of people come from the social media team at Mambo, which are unbelievable, come back to us about that. But the sunset moment, it's a pure moment for a lot of people. And so I don't feel the pressure of doing it, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, but there is an immense, I always feel because when I come at the start with the lads, and every time I went there, it was very special to me. So it was a big moment for me.
So you know that there's people in.
So I know that, and I've had that amount of feedback, which I know it's always good to get, because I do it that much that obviously I don't want to come across like it's just like blasé about it. But when you get people and you do it and you turn around, there's someone I've had my friends over and my friends stand there crying, and I'm like, fuck, it's a good thing. It's like
turn it off. Turn it off.
When's the next DJ? that kind of thing.
You must have had a lot of. I'd say you've probably had a few inspirations in your life to do what you're doing now. Is there anyone who sort of stood out to you who you can still sit there and say today, this guy up?
I mentioned him, Jason Bai. Jason Bai is there's Jason, there's Andy Baxter. To be fair, and all there's Pete Gooden. I could go through. There's a lot of residents. It's mainly residents on the island who I look up to. There's a lot of big DJs. You can go through your Carl Coxes and everything like that. But to me personally, these are the real workers on the island. You put them, the inspiration to me, because people like Jason, who was also resident in the Wild Corner as well, going back to that, put them in any room, in any scenario, and they'll just do it properly. You know what I mean? Like we're saying about the DJs who come with and do an amazing job, do the 2-hour thing, the headliners, they'll smash it out. But then the residents of the island who were there week in, week out, just Monday to, I don't know, they might do 7 days in a restaurant, and then they'll go and do Mambo, and then they'll go and play a club that can just time, place, everywhere is spot on. That's what I look up to, and hopefully that's what I'm getting to be like, that kind of level. But yeah, but Jason Bai, he's always been a name. We had him in Lolas. There's a big connect in Sunderland. We had him, Andy Baxter, Graham Zahara over. And there's like a full connection watching him there. So he's always been someone I've looked up to, and now I've played with him in the Wild Corner. He's invited me down this year actually as well. Me and a guy called Johnny Flip Flop on the island, Juanito Chanclas. So there's just a massive like circular connection all the time. He come over, and but Jason Bai, he's like my favourite DJ, and he's someone I always look up to. And he was the first Mambo resident, so he's a guy I always look up to. And every single time anyone asks that question, it's always Jason Bai and Andy Baxter.
Well, you meet some celebrities as well, celebrity DJs who sort of come and, like as you say, you could come and do that 2-hour thing at Mambo for their warm-up, for their event, the promotion thing, which is most nights, actually. And, I mean, you've met a lot of different people. Roger Sanchez is one of them. So, yeah, there's some really cool pictures of you, like behind the decks with Roger as well. And you obviously, when... You could whilst they're on for 2 hours, you could just like go away and you're coming back in 2 hours or whatever. But you always stick around, you always watch them, you always sort of like look on. And here's you like watching Roger Sanchez intensely.
I should have thought that one was coming back up again. Yeah. Well, that's just me.
Were you messaging?
No, I was just nicking his tracks.
You were picking his tracks, yeah. But I mean, like...
No, I was messaging Danny saying, where's that jacket?
I mean, a lot of people get pictures with you. I mean, he's Wayne Lineker getting asked for a picture with you.
Well,
What did he say there?
He says that was him. He's actually, if you can't see it, he's took that jacket off us, to be fair, and said he could get out.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Well, no, like we've got a picture of you with even with there's not DJs or electronic music, but Alan McGee.
Ah, yes.
You remember meeting him? We've got a picture of you with Alan, and I think Roberto's in there as well.
Okay, that's something.
What was it like meeting him? I know we're both Oasis fans, so that must have been great.
Well, it was mega. But I've become quite close friends with Roberto, actually, from Happy Mondays. If you listen, you don't know who they are, or if you do. But she's coming to the gig, which will be in a few days' time. Whenever this interview goes out, it might be done by then. But she's coming to a Manchester gig. But she was kindly invited us backstage at a Happy Mondays gig in Newcastle with me and the guy you would have seen in that last Roger Sanchez picture, Martin, our friend Martin Hall. And we were just sitting there in the room. The gig was class, and it was just having a laugh, and then he walks in. But to me, like I said, going back to my stepdad, he gave us Oasis's first 2 albums, then Tiesto, then Defected. So I've always, still am, an absolute indie boy. I've just listened actually on that walk this morning of Stand on the Shoulder Giants, a full album. So it's like constantly, I can't go a day without listening to Oasis, Liam Gallagher.
What did you get? Did you ask him many questions? Did you speak to him, or was it just a quick picture?
Well, he was doing his thing, so it was kind of like he come in the room, and there was a lot of us, and we all kind of were like straight on him, got the picture. Yeah. But I had a big crack, but it was kind of, I've kind of like mellowed out when you meet someone, because I've met a lot of heroes, DJs. So being there, you just kind of like.
Yeah.
Just be cool. Ask for pictures. I don't want to be that guy. I've been that guy too many times, sort of like kind of thing. But no, that was wicked. Like I was kind of hoping that either Liam or Noel would be following him, but sadly wasn't the case yet.
So you touched on Dolly earlier on, and we do have a picture of you with Dolly. Actually, did you kissing Dolly?
That's how much I love the guy.
Yeah. And speaking of kissing people, we've got a picture of you kissing this lad. Who's that?
Christ, I forgot his name, but he was just one of the lads who used to work at Mambo, but his name's just flipped as there. Like he was just obviously offering us one too many shots.
And are you kissing someone else? Is that?
Kieran, that's do you know Kieran? Oh well, that's a bar which relates back to the indie thing in Sunderland called Seven, which is like you go there when you don't want the night or morning to end too early. Like, but Seven is one of my favourite places.
This is another one of you kissing someone else. Is that?
That's me mate Davey Porter. That if I'm right, that picture was my first ever gig in a bar in Middlesbrough. I could be wrong, but it'll have been around that time where me and Danny in that first picture when I'm wearing that jacket, which is probably all hopefully burned from your eyes now. Like, but that was our first set out, me and Danny, as the first ever gig, and I haven't played in Middlesbrough since. I don't think.
No. But it was this lad that you're kissing?
That's the same geezer.
That's the same lad?
Yeah.
Is this
just like love Davey Porter, man, legend.
Is this just what you do? Do you just kiss boys? Is that what you do?
I can't seem to kiss any girls, so I may as well just jump to the next best thing.
We got a picture of you DJing a Mambo.
Who am I kissing here?
It was a couple of days ago, looking for your fans.
Nice one.
So I always I always like to ask people about their first ever Facebook
Kiss.
picture.
Oh, that's right. Kiss. It was Davy Porter Middlesbrough. It was beautiful.
Your first Facebook picture was quite a way down. I had a proper. It was like 589 pictures.
I've done my best for you not to find it. Like fucking hell.
Well, that was where was that?
Quite where that isn't Ibiza, but where was
it's an Ibiza that?
Right, but that's where is that? That might be where Hush. It was around the Hush area. Is that sports bar? Well, that's Davy Porter again. That was the second lads holiday that will come on.
That's the same lad.
Same lad, aye, Davy. Unfortunately, that was him saying, "Why do you keep fucking kissing?"
What's your Christmas plans? I know you've got a couple of gigs coming up.
For Christmas, so I'll definitely be back in Sunderland because by the time this goes out, I'll probably be home. Sad times, but Christmas, as in Christmas, or like work around that time.
Just work around that time, right?
Well, I have a kind of a monthly residency in a bar in Newcastle called Colonel Porter's, which I just started.
Is that the one that's fancy dress or every year?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? That's the one that you fancy dress.
Hopefully, if I'm well, I'll wear. But there's a lot of I've got my Boxing Day gig there. I have a gig up in Scotland, which is not announced yet, so unfortunately I can't say too much on that. But that's a gig at New Year.
Nice one, mate. Very quick. So what's that's New Year?
That's New Year's plan. So the usual Boxing Day. And also we have a gig with Acoustic Odds in the Saltgrass in Sunderland. They have been coming up for the past 2 years, or maybe the year before because of COVID. I always get mixed up with how many years we've dealt with that. But so that's a wrap. I think that's the week before Christmas. Acoustic Odds. A big shout out to Walter, who will be listening and sharing because he loves it all. But Acoustic Odds. So there's a lot of work starting to come in now. So I'm hopefully be a busy boy once I leave the island.
And I know you briefly mentioned like some of the great gigs that you did over on the island. Would you say the high one was the one that sort of stood out to you, sort of thing?
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the 2019. There was like I just felt that was mega, and then everything because of COVID again kind of went to shit for everybody.
This year's been a great year.
This year's been unbelievable.
So have you watched your favourite moment of this year, 2022? Apart from this interview?
Well, having my mum over, actually. I've had my mum and my dad over, but for the first time this year, my mum stood behind us while I'd done a sunset and Mambo. So that was like a personal highlight for us. Because again, turned around and she was a bit teary-eyed, so that was like nice. Again, she was just saying like, please stop. But no, to be fair, there's been that many, but like I've had my dad over, I've had my mum over, and I've had one of my brothers over. Unfortunately, my little brother couldn't come, but having the family over and spending like proper. I've had my mum over for my birthday, and I've had spent gig wise, but I've just having my mum there. Having my mum there, that's been a moment for me.
Yeah, I like having my parents over. It's good. When my parents follow us, when I used to play gigs in England, they used to follow us around with a band and stuff. But it's just, I don't know, especially because my dad plays as well. My dad used to be in a band when he was younger as well. And I think, like, it's this sort of, like, seeing...
I love it, but...
that they love doing, do you know what I mean? And getting paid for it as well.
The good thing is, for me, it's kind of like, because I've had all the support from them, but through no fault of their own, they just have no kind of idea. Like, as an example, my mum didn't really... She knows a DJ. She's been like in Lola's and stuff, and she started coming to Colonel Porter's. But that's not her thing, which is fair enough. But coming over kind of sees what Mambo is, which my dad saw in 2019, and then it's good. I've had my stepdad over for the first time to see what I'm doing, because it was a great, again, always comes back to these like full circle moments. He gave us my first Defected CD, which was mixed by Simon Dunmore, and then I persuaded them, because they were kind of like, which Defected that Eden always was and probably will be rammed. But I said, we'll go early. Simon Dunmore's actually playing. So it was good that actually we're on the dance floor. We're probably the first ones in the door, just so they would enjoy it until it got too much for them. So that was great to see them too, just dancing away and seeing what it is I'm actually doing over here and what the life's like, because a lot of people probably think it's just everybody. I was showing them different places, taking them even everywhere, come to see you. And then having me dad here, because I actually took him to High, because every time I was telling him I play in the toll, it's in his mind when we're driving over, I just said, tell us what you think this is. And in my dad's head, he's
sitting on the bog.
he's just he just thinks, you're walking in like an old warehouse, it's falling apart, put some speakers in. This was his description. Put some speakers in, just cram everyone in, it goes off. Which there is some places which do that, but they do it properly, and because it's not falling apart, but it's to look like underground. Yeah. Whereas high, if you've been in, like it just
like pristine.
It took his head away. You're dancing, and the cleaners they're just walking around you, making sure it's like it literally is clean as out, and the toilets blew them away. So that was great. So they can kind of not understand fully because they have no idea when I tell them doing this. They've got all the support, but they don't really know what the support. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that was great.
Well, I think we'll come to the end now. We're going to get the limbo set up and see how you're doing that. Can you limbo?
I don't know, because we've been doing some leg workouts recently, haven't we? So we're doing it in the gym.
Why do you think I've been doing the leg workouts recently?
So I don't know. I've never ever done it before.
Have you not?
So why not?
Well, just briefly, mate, just before we get that set up, what have you got in the future for Ryan McDermott? What's your sort of 5-year, what do you want to be doing in 5 years' time, mate?
Well, hopefully, just more and more work on the island at different venues to give us a different kind of like challenge. You know what I mean? So even if it is a sunset in a different venue, like doing the sun, because Mambo has a sunset, so I'm quite well adjusted and confident what I'm doing there. But put us somewhere different, and would they still want that kind of vibe? Just trying to just become more and more of a name, like a kind of reliable name, so people, all right, I can put him in, you can put us there at 12 in the afternoon in a restaurant on a beach and I'll play the perfect music for that. Put us in Pikes and Freddy's after somebody like with the DJ, like that's a very high thing, but put us in somebody after him and I'll play the music perfect for that, just to be a well-known name on the island and get...
I think you. I remember asking you this question actually in the first interview, and you gave a similar answer, and I'm going to say a similar thing. I think what you're saying there, you've already got that now. I really do. Do you know what I mean? For starters, when people think of Mambo, I think they think, okay, you've got the Jason Byrne and stuff like that, but like, you are there as well. I think, like, okay, Jason Byrne's been here longer, which you can't change that. But you are a staple on this island, especially for Mambos. So I think you've already made that. But like, what about Stud? Are you planning on making your own music?
But that's something I've been talking about with people, and something I should have done a long time ago. It was just pure laziness on my side. There's no other way. Just go keep myself for. But this winter there's a plan in my head to see if I can get in a certain studio with somebody from back home who's becoming really well known, and just try it out, man. You know what I mean?
What, are you doing like a collab thing?
No. Well, certainly not. But it was just the guy offers. He's got his own studio, so you can kind of pay to get in there with him, and he'll like a bit of a teaching.
Is this in Sunderland?
In Sunderland now. Well, I keep calling the guy. He's called Louis Brown. He's called Soli. So if you've been to Ibiza this year, you would have seen him 3 times. He's just smashing it. So he offers it. So it's been something I've been talking him about here and there, and it's something I just need to get in, especially with 2019. I probably could have done something, and it might have led into that. And then the 2 years we've had off. Obviously, everyone's went through everything, but now like me head is just fully focused on this is it now, because all last year I couldn't make it out for the summer. I think I had 3 weeks, so I've had like a year off Ibiza, and mentally that kind of just knocked, because I didn't know where I was. I was just kind of stuck at home. Not to get too depressing, but I was kind of like stuck at home. Didn't have that many gigs, and no the DJ did. But it was just, I'm assuming a lot of DJs would have went through this, and a lot of people might have not been able to get back into it. So now I know how fortunate I am. Now I know that when I've had it to a degree, I know what it's like now to not have it. So now I'm like, right, this is it now. So when I get home, it will be all systems.
I hope you do, mate, because I know I've mentioned it to you a few times. Like, you should like do something. Like make your own music. It's a completely different ball game. Like making your own music and then playing other people's music. Obviously, it's great playing other people's music, but when there will be a different kind of satisfaction dropping a song you made.
It's
mental, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've played gigs in the past where people have been singing in the crowd.
And then you played your own
in my bedroom. I
thought you meant you were going to say I've been playing songs and then I started singing mine. Everyone.
That's happened as well, like, but it's a different kettle of. It's a different sort of bag when you're there DJing, and especially if you're going to be in Mambo's DJing
that would be
your stuff. And it's just like people digging your stuff. It's just a different level of. It's great, mate. So I wish you all the best for it, mate. Thank you very much
man.
For coming in.
Great, man.
And
good luck with the show as well, man, mate. It's been great to see. As of now, There's only been, as of today, is when we're doing this now, I think you've had 2 up, but it's good to see from the first one, from what you can see, man, it's wicked, you know what I mean? Because the only person I know, I think I might have said it was a stupid idea to do, but you know what I mean? The only person I know on this island, you'll see something and then you'll crack on with it, so it's great. Yeah, so I hope this scans from better. Remember the person who done it twice in the first summer.
I will. At least I haven't wasted this day off.
Well, you never know. Yeah, the camera's not stuck.
I'm going to beat you at the limbo now. So we'll get set up and we'll
go on.
See how we
Let's
go.
do it.
Thank you very much, mate.
Ciao, ciao.
Right. Fucking hell.
Keep
that is the end. Right, welcome down to the Limbo Banter with myself, Roberto Campoli, and him, Ryan McDermott.
Let's do this.
Have you done this before?
No. Come on.
Right, so what you have to do is, you have to get under the bar, but you have to do it that way. So the last thing that goes under the bar has to be your head. Yep. So obviously you can't do that. Right. You can actually go all the way down like this if you want. Your feet, that's just nothing but your feet. So your hands, if your hands touch the floor, that's it, you're out. So example, so we've got 5 notches down.
My hands touching the floor, end of the game.
End of the game.
See.
So we'll go for 5.
What?
You want to come this side? 5 down there.
Okay, right.
Ready?
Seems like.
I'll go first. Or should we
No, you can go first. Show the way. Show the ropes. Show the audience at home.
There's 5.
Alright?
That's alright, right? Are you alright? Right, do you want to knock that down another 2?
2?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is 7. Yep. You go first this time?
No. You lead the way. You know what you're doing.
Oh, I put the wrong shorts on for this, like. Right.
So you're getting the execution already down, I put the wrong fucking trousers on.
Tap them off. Ooh.
Not again. Davy Porter's not over here yet.
Should we do another 2 down?
You want to?
9.
8. Alright?
9.
Yeah, I'll put 2 down. Why you?
You go first this time?
No. Please, no, you know what you're doing.
I might take
Can I just... nobody wants to say that. Ever. You turn the camera on, that's something wicked this way it comes.
Right. Oh, it's a good 9 that.
You know when you're doing that? Can I twist my head that way when I'm going under?
As long as your head's the last thing that goes under, yeah.
I don't know. Because every time I went under, you went, ooh, so I don't know if it was my head being like close to it. Every this, like, innit? What was the one?
No, that's quite right, actually.
What was the one the person... like, yeah.
This is 9. I'll give you that, aye.
What do you mean give us a...
Well, aye.
What did I do wrong?
No, that's what I'm giving you. 1 down.
I was going to... Am I just doing 2 each?
You want to do 2 down? Go on then.
Yeah,
This is number 11.
For the crack, eh? Yeah.
Right, you go first this time.
No, you go first.
No, I've showed you the ropes.
No, man. Hey, you have to go first each time, man. Christ.
Right, so this is 11, yeah?
Correct.
Oh. Good, huh?
Look, I don't think I'll get this one, like, what's the matter?
Checking that mic's on there. How does the mic go off? Look at that, Ben.
Oh.
That's all.
Can't do that, like.
Just checking your stats.
I didn't say no when you were saying it.
Do you want us to say something? Do you want us to turn away?
No, it's fine.
I'll look into the wall.
No, I'm fucking hell. Right. And I'm doing this as well.
You can do anything you want.
Oh!
I don't know. I'll give you another run of that.
Why?
Are you bending sideways?
Oh, you did just say we're like an either bent.
I'll give you.
As long as my head went under, that's the rule.
That's fair enough, okay. Right, 1 more down. Okay. We're on 12 now.
So what, hold on, so I can't do that, no?
Well, because as you turn...
Right, my head's not the last thing.
Your head's not the last thing, do you mean?
Okay.
Right, so this is what, 12?
12, right, this could be the end.
12. I might have to take these shorts off, you know.
I wouldn't worry. I'm sure I'm probably out on this one. Fucking hell.
So, number 12. He stayed on his feet, to be fair.
Is that normally not allowed? Like if
No,
you fall
you're fine,
back,
yeah.
right?
If you fall forward, right, then you have another go. But if you fall back,
Right.
we're out.
I know. Stupid game.
Do you take his Converse off? Or? I'll give him that. Yeah, heard a fart come out there.
It was more than a fucking fart.
One more down.
Yeah.
So this is 13.
Honestly, look, if you ever do this game and somebody does that, just give the game up like after that, like, fucking hell. What's the point of that one?
Right.
If it's not hot enough.
I can see this coming. I think I'm going to do this. What's we're on 12?
13, I think.
Unlucky for some.
Lucky for you.
I don't think so. I think I can get this. Oh!
Fucking hell.
13. Are you taking a run up on this, are you?
No, just
Do a cleansing.
fucking hell. I'm not going to do this one, mate. Horrible game, this one. Fucking hell. Well, good game.
Oh, can I help you?
Awesome.
Right, thanks for
Wicked, man.
Nice one. So, what did you get? What was it? You got 12.
12, right?
That's quite good going. That's good. Well done, mate.
Wicked.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
Big
I've
loves.
been Roberto Campoli.
And he's been Roberto Campoli. Ciao.
Tune in to the next one. Cheers.